Welcome, ma'am. No, your voice is not audible, ma'am. It is muted, I think.
So PPT share பண்ண முடியல sharing is turned on வருது
Request கொடுங்க மேம் இங்க அப்ரூவல்
send request அனுப்பிச்சிருக்கேன் sharing is not turned on வருது
அலோவ் கொடுத்துட்டேன் மேம். இப்போ ஷேர் பண்ணி பாருங்க.
visible
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Sir, shall we start?
Yes, ma'am. Participants are connecting right now. I think that's right.
No, my screen is not visible,
Yeah, just a minute.
even if I share. Sir, I cannot see my screen. உங்களுக்கு பார்க்க முடியுதா என்னோட ஸ்கிரீன்?
It's visible for us. ma'am. ஷேர் ஆகலைங்களா?
ஷேர் ஆகுதா?
ஆகுது மேம். உங்களுக்கு இங்க விசிபிளா தான் இருக்கு.
சார் எனக்கு ஷேர் ஆகல சார். ஸ்லைட்ஸ் மூவ் ஆகுதா?
இல்ல மேம், சேஞ்ச் ஆகல. இப்போ மூவ் ஆகுது மேம்.
மூவ் ஆகுதா சார்?
மூவ் ஆகுது மேம்.
ஓகே. சார் நான் ஸ்கிரீன் ஃபோக்கஸ்ல இருந்து என்னோட விண்டோக்கு போய் நான் பிரசன்ட் பண்றேன்.
ஓகே
I cannot see if the participants ஏதாவது கேட்டாங்கன்னா எனக்கு இன்ஃபார்ம் பண்ணுங்க. நான் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிட்டீங்களா?
ஓகே. ஷேர் போயிட்டு அந்த ஸ்கிரீன் கரெக்டா செலக்ட் ஆயிருக்கா மேம்? இல்ல என்டையர் ஸ்கிரீனுமே செலக்ட் ஆயிருக்கான்னு செக் பண்ணிட்டு. ஓகே, ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிட்டீங்களா?
சொல்லுங்க சார்.
Shall I start?
Yes sir.
Good evening, everyone. It's my privilege to introduce Dr. T. Jayashree, a distinguished academician and researcher in the field of biomedical engineering, biomechanics, and rehabilitation engineering. Dr. Jayashree holds a PhD in biomedical engineering from Anna University, with her research focused on developing ENOS technology for clinical and environmental applications. She also holds a master's degree in biomedical engineering and a bachelor degree in electronics and communication engineering. With an extensive teaching and research experience spanning over a decade, she currently serves as a senior grade assistant professor at Anna University. Her expertise lies in the biomedical instrumentation, gas sensors, and AI-driven healthcare technologies, contributing significantly to the advancement of wearable healthcare innovations. Her research contributions include international journal publications in medical diagnostics and sensor technology, international conference presentations in biomedical computing and AI wearable technology, multiple funded projects that includes artificial voice box development, early detection of diabetes through saliva analysis, and uh, vibrogram-based knee joint disorder detection. Beyond her research, Dr. Jayashree is a renowned mentor and organizer, having coordinated numerous national level and international level workshops and programs. She also received prestigious awards that include CAPR Best Project Award for Innovative Rehabilitation Devices and the Best Paper Award from Jaginar University, Bangladesh. Today, we are honored to have Dr. Jayashree with us to share her expertise, how wearable technology will reshape healthcare. Let's all extend a warm welcome to ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, very good evening to all. So myself, Dr. Jayashree from Assistant Professor, Department of Biomedical Engineering from CG Anna University. So today I thought of delivering a few informations about wearable technology and its application in healthcare, or how it will be reshaping our healthcare. So already we are in wide use of electronic gadgets with lots of medical application to be available in it, out of which this wearable word that coins is where something you need to wear on your body, and that wearable tool will help you to pick up some vital signals. The signals can be as basic as your temperature, body temperature, or it can be very important like your electrocardiograph activities like ECG or cardio activity, the biopotentials produced by your heart, or the electrical activity of your brain, or even the electrical activity of your muscle. So that can be picked up and that can show you as a signal, or it can show you some vital parameters like what is your heart rate, or what is whether your muscle is in a tension mode or a relaxed mode, and what is the reason for this contraction that can be calculated from your EEG. So this is one part. Other than that, some wearable device that help you to help certain individuals, those who have certain impairments, and assist them as a tool to take their active daily living process. So what this wearable technology is, so as I said before, wearable is nothing but something you need to wear on it. But the wearing tool is might be a small gadget or something like a watch that you wear, or something like a glass that we wear, or something like a hearing we put. But these wearable tool will consist of some electronic component, where the first major component will be the sensors or transducers that pick up the signal, vital signals from our physiological system. So these signals only, as I told, it can be ECG, EEG, EMG, or even a temperature, or your blood pressure, or your glucose monitoring, or your complete relaxation of your state of well-being. So whatever it is, these signals will be picked up and the signals will be processed, modified, transferred through some methodology like either you use a Bluetooth module or you use a Wi-Fi module. So through that, it will reach the other gadget, the other side, where it can be a doctor's desk, or it can be the mobile phone that you carry, or it can be a mobile phone carried by the parents or the caretakers. So this is the basic concept of the wearable system. What a wearable system will have, you have a sensors and then a processing unit and then interfacing unit and then the other receiving unit. So the as I said, it can be in the form of any jewelries, accessories, any accessories that we carry day to day life, or even it can be a clothing, or these sensors that can be implantable inside the body also. So what is the job of these sensors is that they have to detect some vital signs from our body. Yeah. So apart from this system, what I have told as a sensor, processing unit, interfacing unit, transmission unit, this wearable technology can also play a vital role in acting as a feedback monitoring system. Some system that corrects your vital signs. So for example, you feel that your ECG is not good enough, but timely measure you can take immediately you can take some substitutes or you can assist yourself to overcome the sudden cardiac problem. So if the feedback system is given to you rather than for all, so if it comes as a technology, anyway, the information is going to transfer to a remote place or to your mobile. But biofeedback is a concept where you can correct your own parameters by understanding the situation. So this wearable technology that can be acted very wisely as a biofeedback system for the users actually. So one example I would like to tell is suddenly the ECG is increasing. Okay, the reason for increasing ECG is cannot be felt by the user or by the patient. But a monitoring system is you're connecting is assisting you, telling you that your ECG is increasing, your heart rate is shooting up, your blood pressure is increasing. So you may get an alarm so that you can do some immediate activities like slow down your work, or you can take immediate rest, or you can immediately call the person to assist you. So that where the biofeedback concept comes. You do some activities to reduce or to come back the abnormal state to bring back the abnormal state to the normal state. So this is a basic concept of wearable technology. But before going into the deep concept, what is the different kinds of technology we are using, I would like to go attach what are all the wearables that is available when we are kid. So when you go for the 1970s, the first wearable concept was used as a shoe by Edward person. What he did was he made a small monitoring device. Actually, they call it as a mini computer. They place it in the shoe, but it has been used to understand the gambling process. They will a polling will be ball will be running, and suddenly the spinning will be stopped, and where the ball will come and stand. So if you bet on that particular number, you can take the amount. Similarly, where the ball could come and stand, depending upon the rotation speed, the system can able to find out. So this was the first technology. It is not actually technology, but they used in olden days to understand to wear something to identify the winning pattern in the spinning wheel. The next wearing concept when you come is what will be used in our childhood, like a calculator, a watch calculator, which will be present, and you can do also mathematical calculations in that. And 1980s, where a wearable Walkman is also at least many of you have used in your life. So where you can listen to your favorite music when you go somewhere else. And but after this Walkman arrived only, this concept only was helpful to identify go for a special design of the hearing aids. So what is hearing aids is nothing but if the person is having some impairment in their auditory response, where they can't able to hear some certain frequencies. So the audible range is 20 to 20 kilohertz. In this frequency range, a person might not able to hear 500 hertz or something, a small minute pitch, or even some 1000 hertz frequency can also be, he may not be able to hear. So which can be tested using a audiogram. So based on that particular auditory response, a hearing aid will be designed. So you know what a hearing aid will have. So you have a microphone followed by a small digital signal processing unit where the analog signals will be digitized, and and everything will be made converted into some digitized mode. Again, it will be converted into analog, and through speaker it will be made to again produce what input you are giving. The similar output will come through the speaker. So where it will be designed into a small gadget that can be placed in the canal or behind the ear or inside the canal. There are different types of hearing aids, or even you can wear it as a small spectacles, having this earlobe coming at the back. So it doesn't have anything. It has only a microphone and audio amplifier that amplifies the signals, and it will be made understandable to the individual, those who have some impairment in the particular audition. So that was a hearing aid. That was the first gadget. It is actually doing an electronic job, but it is quite helpful in the field of health. So to improvise their auditory response. But people, those who are completely deaf, for them, I think hearing aids is not suitable. But even if the person is completely deaf, and if certain surgical procedures can be initiated for them, then you can go for the cochlear implants for them. But I'm not included here. And next in 1990s, I think the pager was quite famous. And in 2000, the first Bluetooth headset has come. Then entering this wearable scenario, entering into the healthcare industry was the first thing. We call it as a Fitbit. So Fitbit actually it has been Google has been bought that Fitbit concept, and then only the smart watch has been arranged. And the smartwatch is also, I think, different company have their own smartwatch, and where all these where the vital parameters can be displayed using a application app. And in 2000, again, between 2000 and 2010, the mobile phones have been come into use, where you can take your mobile phones wherever it will. And then the Google Glass have come, which is again the Google Glass, but it's too costly. It is not affordable by the normal individual. And I think in current scenario, you have many wearable technologies like a ring, a wearable suit that monitors your health rate. So we'll see one by one. So this is what I would like to show as a hearing aid. So you can see because the major problem, the major drawback with the people, those who are physically able, okay, they will not tell that they have this kind of problem. They'll never come out. They'll say that they have a hearing impairment. or I can't able to hear anything. They will never come out and say. So it is very difficult to make them use all these electronic gadgets. And provided they will also not willing to use all these kind of gadgets because of its aesthetic appealing. So most of the gadgets that have been developed doesn't look good to carry themselves. Um, so we have to create some gadget. See, we are doing some service to the society, and we are making them to understand how a sound appears in front of them. So, and moreover, whatever the wearable system you are going to concentrate or going to develop or design, that has to have some beautiful finishing aesthetic appealing. Then only the user will be happy to use it. So the currently the hearing aids have been appearing as a jewelry, where a small the electronic component is fixed inside the gadget, where you can see a pink color mold. That mold has all the electronic unit, and a small microphone is fixed inside it, and that your DSP chip, everything will be present inside. So where the sound signal is made understandable for the person, those who have some hearing impairments. So this is the first thing I would like to tell, which is called as a deaf metal hearing aid jewelry. Second one, where the Mijia smart glass and Google glasses. This Mijia smart glass is where it is not going to have any kind of sensors in it, but it has a very beautiful camera, where a higher pixel camera that will create an environment like an augmented reality option. So you call it as an augmented reality optical display. So this camera will give a very nice or three-dimensional vision when you wear it. At the same time, these devices comes with a refractive error correction. So we know refractive error in the sense we know what is short sight and long sight. They call it as a myopia and a hyperopia. So where some people will able to see able to see the far objects, but what is very close to them, they can't able to figure out. So for them, normally the spectacles will be used, which comes with a proper convex and convex lens based on their refractive error. So this Mijia glass will have these concept of refractive error correction, followed by a camera, that is optical display or optical mounted display, where you can see a beautiful image in front of it. A colorful image or three-dimensional view will be given by this Mijia glass. And where it is comes with a recorder. The other thing is you can put some some memory card, and whatever you see in front of it, that can be recorded accordingly. That is also another benefit they give it in this Mijia Smart Glass feature. But when you come to the Google Glass, so Google Glass actually it is a very big flaw for the company because it is very too costly. And when you see the people, those who need of it, comes under the rural areas, they can't able to afford to buy this glasses. So, but this glass having this optical head-mounted display, where it also records, comes with a memory chip, it records everything what in front of them. So, I have given the parts that is present in the Google Glass. So first thing, it is going to have a camera which is having 1280 into 720 pixels of specification. And this camera will capture the image and it will try to make the person understand that which particular image is present in front of them. So this Google Glass is mainly designed for people, those who have a complete vision loss. They need a proper guide for them. And other thing, you have a bone conduction audio transducer where a vibration will be sent to the person or the individual those who are wearing it to understand that what kind of object is in front of them. Along with that, it has a microphone. So person those who speak, that can also be recorded and make them to helpful for the wearer to understand what the person is communicating with them. And you have a ambient light, so the light will throw on the object in front and you can beautifully capture the image accordingly. And along with that, this particular Google Glass comes with the IMU sensors, that is measurement sensors, where the accelerometer, gyroscope, and magnetometer will be present along with it. So, you know, the accelerometer will understand the directions, in which way the person is turning or which way the object is coming in front. And gyroscope is helpful to understand the angular velocity. So angular velocity, and this magnetometer is not much in use because the magnetic signals in and around the person, individual, can be identified using that. So this glass comes with lots of sensory inputs, but still they can't able to make this to be cost effective, and so it is not much is used in the market. Second one, I think this is currently hit the market, and but Apple, I don't know whether what is the cost they are going to, what their cost they are using, but other companies, they have introduced their smart ring. So I have not added the smartwatch here because which is very old. Smartwatch, what a smartwatch will do? It will monitor your oxygen saturation pressure and SpO2 we used to tell, and it also calculate your atrial pressure, and because it has a small IR unit present in it, so depending upon the oxygenation and deoxygenation blood flowing, it will identify the oxygenation pressure, and then it also has a small sensor that will able to pick up your ECG vital parameters. So from the ECG signal, you can calculate the heart rate. So this what a smartwatch will do, but the smartwatch has to be communicated with your mobile phone through some proper application, and where you need a proper Bluetooth or Wi-Fi gadget to be available in and around. The same concept is introduced by the Apple in the form of a ring. You can wear it, and now it comes in a gold, or some aesthetic appealing also. So the same concept where it will measure your heart rate, and it will measure your ECG. As I said, the oxygen saturation pressure. We call it as an SpO2, and from that, the mean atrial pressure of the blood can also be calculated. So this will be transferred to your mobile phone. So your mobile should have the app developed by the Apple Smart Ring. So this is what a smart ring will do. And coming to this particular smart shirts, there are different types of smart shirts available because probably this wearable tool is quite helpful for sports persons. So where the sports medicine, this wearable concept is very vitally used. And this one is also Olympiad Health. They only develop this smart shirt for particular field and track event person when they're performing their events. Okay, at that time, so how much they're getting tensed, or what is their muscle contraction level, or what is the stress they are experiencing while performing this track or field event, that can be measured, and based on that the training process can be initiated to them as a biofeedback concept. So you can see the golden circles that is going to be present there. Those we're going to measure the heart rate, and from that the ECG signal, the entire ECG pattern. Okay, so this is a circle where this augmented leads will be connected. A similar pathway, the lead system has been given in the track shoe, and that will measure your heart ECG signal, from where the heart rate and the pulse rate can be calculated. And then the it is actually comes under the smart textile also. So where the depending upon the stretchability of the that is a suit the person is going to wear, the strength can be, the muscle stretching can be identified. So this is mainly used for people those who are putting some shot put or the waist javelin or discus, or even the weightlifter when they are lifting the weight. The stretching of the muscle can be identified using the special sensors, EMG sensors only they'll be implanting inside. And your cardiac rhythm that can be continuously monitored. And by putting this IMU sensors, you can go for the physical movement analysis, the body movement, the acceleration of the body, and the angle created when you're moving your limbs. That can be monitored. But this shirt will also has to be connected to a remote application like a system or a mobile through some app. So where it has to be paired with Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. So this smart shirt, where the vital parameters can be calculated. Apart from that, if the person is a swimmer, but for swimming, okay, if the person is going for swimming, or he is exposing he is training for a long time in an open air. So what the UV level that has been observed by the person, or the chlorine, how much they are, I mean, in a swimming pool, I think the water will be chlorinated. So if the person is swimming for a long time, the level of chlorine absorbed on that day, okay, so that will be measured and intimated to the swimmers. And if you're in the for example, you're doing some track performance, okay, so the exposure of your ultraviolet light can also be measured. So this is another criteria that is available in the smart shades, which are not included. And there are many parameters that can be included for different field and track events, or even people those who are in space or they're traveling space. For them also, this smart shots will be quite helpful. And next, I would like to talk about the smart pants, or it calls as the right trousers. So it's a very, what is it? It is not hit the market yet, but smart shirts, people started using it. But this particular smart pant is developed for rehabilitation application. So if you see that, you can see lots of color patches going in and around. So first, let me talk about the patch which is of red color on the top. Okay. So that is nothing but the power and electronics. So the battery required or the electrical energy required for the entire the sensors to be activated, that will be present there. And then you can see some yellow color triangles. These yellow color are nothing but the inertial measurement sensors, IMU sensors, where it's nothing but you have the accelerometer and gyroscope. So for every step the person would like to keep, this will measure the acceleration as well as the angle. The angular velocity from where the angle can be calculated. So that sensor will be patched in that particular triangular space. And this span can also act as a therapeutic benefit, where it is also have a functional electrical stimulation arrays. You can see the small red color square that is going to be present at the bottom of the pant. So this is nothing but the electrical stimulation. So what is electrical stimulation will do? So for example, we'll understand that the person is paralyzed. Okay, so you're making the paralyzed individual to stand and walk by himself. So that is the role of this trousers. If the person is trying to keep, okay, so what happens at the back side of the pant, you will have a pneumatic device. So this pneumatic device will inflate the bubbles so that if the person is trying to stand, that bubbles will automatically make him to push. So that will help them to stand by himself. So that is another important facility they have kept there. So air bubble system where it will inflate it, and if the person is about to stand, okay, so this bubble will be inflated and that will make him to push automatically. So he'll come forward, and with the help of the assisting persons or with the holder which is present in belly, he will try to able to stand by himself. So that is the first thing. And so then if the person is about to walk, he want to keep one step, okay, step forward. So normally what we'll do, we call that as a gait, human locomotion. So every time when you go, you have to, the heel strike is the first step in the gait movement. So when he's making a try, but his muscle is not helping him to keep the step forward. At that time, this electrical stimulation, it is nothing but a small current impulse will be directly given to the muscle or the nerves in order to make them to create a movement. So this impulse, so once the heel is off, this electrical stimulation can be activated. So the stimulus can be given to the muscle, okay, and that will go for a contraction so that the person will try to keep the step forward. Okay, so that is the job of the electrical stimulation. And then you have a waistband is present because this trousers will not be suitable for all the age groups. So if it is loose, you can tie it accordingly to make it fit for the person, those who like to wear it. And you can see some orange straps that is coming out. So these, they call it as it is nothing but elastic bands only. They call it as an artificial muscle. If the grip is not enough for the person to keep the step forward. So that will create a tightness. Okay, it will give a pressure to the leg so that automatically a grip will be created, and so that without falling down, you can keep the next step. And you have a foot strapper. So the foot strapper will may allow you to wear these trousers tightly to the person who would like to wear. So the major ideas, it's excellent, thought or innovation that has been applied to create it. But to make this come forward, people has to start using it. That is in the hand of the people. The doctors, or they have to suggest it correct in the right way and make the person to use this, because most of this rehabilitation assisted tool, they come with a long, already they are in some certain impairments, they are in certain pain. So for those people, if you make them to wear all these gadgets, they'll feel really discomfort. So you have to prioritize the application of this gadget and help them to utilize all these available wearable system present in the market. But I think it's not come out yet. It's still in research process. Um, so it also comes under the smart clothing concept. So this is the car. If you have any doubts till this, you can free to ask. Okay. So the next gadget which I would like to present is it is a sensoria, where it is a fitness smart socks, also a sports bra. So what it will do was this. It is actually, this also comes under the smart textile wearable textiles only. So where they create a special garments in such a way that the smart bra will measure the ECG pattern, as well as the blood pressure monitoring unit will be affixed into it. And it also tells the respiration rate depending upon the inhalation and exhalation done by the person while performing the exercise or doing some activities. So these parameters will be calculated by the upper garments. And coming to the socks will, if you wear the socks will have certain sensors, and it also comes with the accelerometer only, where you have to wear this band. This band acts as a transmitter for the sensor unit to the mobile or to the tab or where the application is loaded. So this, so whenever you move, okay, so your body movement followed by the steps, that is cadence we used to do, the number of steps you have performed, okay, and the pressure you're giving for the complete foot pressure when you're running or walking, okay, a pedogram will be created depending upon the pressure. So it has a pressure sensor followed by the accelerometer to understand the pressure that we are giving for every movement. And this accelerometer will be quite helpful to understand the steps that you have walked or you have jogged or run on that particular day. So you can see the heart rate as well as the calories burned based on the exercise you have done. Okay. And the distance covered by you. Okay. And followed by the, that is, foot contact. So how many times you have completely gave the pressure and what is your foot pressure, okay, for everything. So that all the parameters can be monitored and displayed in the application or the mobile phone or the tab. So this is another kind of wearable concept. And next we call it as a Owlet Smart Socks, specially designed for the pediatric application. So where this small boot, okay, this will try to help you to monitor your the movement tracking system of the baby. At the same time, you can check the heart rate as well as the oxygen level of the particular child. So if the person is the speciality of this is connected through Wi-Fi. So the mother is working somewhere else or mother has to go out. Okay, so the child can left at home with a caretaker and he can take the mobile with them. So continuous monitoring of the vital activities of the child can be done. Okay, so this is another thing which is available in the market. So sleep position of the baby can be tracked, and followed by the oxygen level can be tracked, and the heart rate of the child can be tracked. The other one comes with a biosensor that can be connected to the diaper of the baby. So where that will check the other vital parameters like bilirubin. If for example, if the child is come with a you have to take care of the jaundice. The child is having the jaundice, but the treatment procedure, if you want to monitor whatever the medication, or if you're making the light treatment, phototherapy like blue light treatment, whether the changes is happening. Okay, so continuous monitoring can be done by placing the sensor on the baby diapers. So that will monitor the bilirubin level depending upon the treatment that has been given to the child. So that is also another thing, but still it is in research which is not, it has been come out. And next, I would like to go with the wearable belt. So this, rather than of, is having a slight benefits in healthcare system. So where, but this one is actually designed for some other application, like when the person is eating lots of food. Okay, so to understand, to intimate the person that the person is consuming lot of, the edibility is very high. To indicate that only this based on belt have been started introduced. But later on, it is provided with different applications like the waistline measurement can be done, and the activity you're going to perform. Okay, so if you're sitting for a long time, even the smartwatch will does the same job. If your movement is restricted, you keep on monitoring. Then a small image will be popping up, moving you to. You have to do some activities like that. So similarly, this belt is also come with an IMU sensor. It will analyze your body movement, and if a no activity is recognized, okay, it will send the information to you, a mobile, that some activity need to be performed. The person is sitting for a long time. That is where the feedback system is given there, and the person activities can be monitored, and it can be saved in the cloud also, or for the other other interventions also, you can be saving the details. So this is a waist on blood. It is available in the market, but it will completely measures your waist on and tell you that your belly is being coming out or not when too much of food is being consumed. And next is a smart finger. Actually, it is having some, it is complete electronic gadget which helpful to measure the, we used to measure this length by using our fingers. No, the similar concept is given here, but a scale has been, electronic scale is present inside the gadget. So whenever you go for a measurement, okay, instead of doing some manual measurement, so the device will automatically measures and tell you what is the distance between the two objects that you're trying to face. So this is another important device. It is present, a distance measurement device. So I have saved some of the gadgets to talk about as a diagnostic as well as therapeutic tool. I think all the informations I think I have covered what I've given here. So smart glass is over, smartwatch, even if I've not given here, but I think many people have seen these gadgets, and smart shirt is finished. And yes, this GPS more body control movement, and this has been specially come. This also concept is implemented in the smart glass to understand the location of the person. And Bluetooth key tracker is now available for the latest car people are going to buy. Okay, everything comes with a key tracker app that has to be installed in your mobile phone. And smart shoes have come. The smart shoes, I think, which are the same concept, whatever the smart socks we have talked about, a similar concept will be present in the, so that is going to be present in the shoe. So it can measure your cadence when you're walking, and it can tell the foot pressure that you're going to get. So why we want to measure the foot pressure? That is an important question. Where if the person, because nowadays there is no age limit for the person prone to this diabetes mellitus. So people having a high sugar content in the blood, suddenly they got hit. Okay, so they can't, the sore will happen in their food, and where if it is not treated at the right time, okay, in order to control your sugar level, the amputation is the only option the doctor will give. But this pressure you're going to give, okay, so that was quite helpful to people those who are having diabetes. So where the pressure is measured, so when the pressure is more in one particular area, that is a walking pattern itself, what you're doing is wrong. So you can alter their gait pattern depending upon the pressure distribution in the sole of the shoes or even in the smart socks. And that will tell that you're giving over pressure here. So when there's another reason, if your sugar level is not coming into control, you may get a sore at the particular food. That can be insisted for the patient. That is a major criteria where the pedogram of your toes is measured everywhere else. And smart pant we have seen, smart belt also we have seen, smart ring I've shown, and smart finger is what is used as a measuring device, and smart bracelet is also comes under the smartwatch concept only. So these are different technologies that is currently available in the market where we can use of it and we can use it for our own health benefits. So, out of all these gadgets we have seen, so what is the major use of these wearable technology? So, the first concept is where it is very popularly used in the health and fitness to monitor your day-to-day life activities and the intake of food, what you're doing, and the calories calculation that has been done, and of course, your physiological monitoring of your vital parameters, your ECG, your temperature, your heart rate that comes under this. So fitness and health is a major contribution in the field of wearable system. And the same concept is applicable in the sports also. So for performance monitoring, they can use, and especially the smart shirts, and of course the smart shoes, and as well as your smart socks. These three gadgets are quite helpful for them to understand their performance, how well they are performing, and at the same time, they can access the biofeedback system to insist them that your vital signs are too high, so reduce your exercise pattern. Okay, and your body cooling and heating can be calculated. At the same time, the outdoor tracking and navigation can also be monitored with the help of a smartwatch or any kind of a smart gadgets. And this application can be implemented in a VR as well as augmented reality in order to get on entertaining and some interactive gaming platforms. So I will tell you later part how this entertainment and gaming can be used in our health sector. So this one is another important applications of this wearable concept. And fourth one again, the healthcare and medical. So where using this Internet of Medical Things, IOMT concept, you can transfer the information or you can make a group of colony to use this facility, and then in the particular place like the entire health concept can be monitored from a hospital or some other health management system. So that is another major application for this wearable concept. So you need not carry the entire gadget, all the medical equipments or diagnostic equipments in that place. With the help of this simple concept, you can monitor their vital signs. Okay, so if the person is having a heart disease, chronic disease, heart problems or kidney failure, so these things can be monitored from a remote place and you can transfer the information. So some doctors in remote place can assist them. So the healthcare and medical for this wearable technology was quite helpful at the time of certain events like disaster. For example, we have experienced this corona. Okay, so pandemic concept like corona. So at that time, this wearable technology implementation was not much in use. The later part only we understood the importance of it and started buying all these gadgets. But if that were there at that period of time, definitely many life saves can be done. Okay, so that is another important application of this wearable technology where it can vitally used. And other thing like for patients, I'll tell you some another applications in if, when we see about the diagnostic. use of wearable technology. So where this intelligent clothing have come, okay, so the waist can be adjusted accordingly. It's a smart textile. I was forgot to tell all these concepts. So where depending whether you when you wear the textile, okay, so the it will compress your component and make you to look very thin. Okay, so that is where the smart textiling is used in fashion department also for fitness as well as for health monitoring. They have some special designs available. And so coming to the advantage, so advantage of this wearable technology when you see, so the first thing is it is once if it is cost effective, then it is easily can be procured and can be easily used. Apart from that, it contributes a great thing to our healthcare. Okay, and once the health, we never compromise anything for our health. So obviously, the productivity can be enhanced, and safe working play practice can be initiated because if you're sitting for a long time, you're not doing any other activities that can be monitored. So occupational therapy this wearable technology is quite applied. Okay, and overall the health maintenance can be done. A continuous monitoring of your health can be done using this wearable concept. But the disadvantage, as I said, the data security, if you want to transfer the information, so anybody can, just hack your data. So data security is more important as far as it is completely monitoring your health state. Other thing, technical issues might happen. So after purchasing the gadget, if that particular gadget is not fitting your smartphone, then it is useless. So you should be the whatever the technology you're developing, okay, it is adaptable to all available smartphones that is used in the market. That is more thing. And of course, very expensive. If it is cost effective, definitely the even very rural people in the rural area can also be using this facilities and integration problems, so how to communicate with the other system. Okay, so that is another important disadvantage of the wearable technology. It will work with you, but if you want to transfer the information to the doctors, then the doctor may not have the facility there, or you will not have the supporting software. So that is another problem in the wearable technology and limited power. So you should, energy storage has to be very, very less because the longevity should be there when you're using the gadget. Within every day, if you want to recharge it, then that is useless for using for this kind of technological unit. So you have any doubts till this?
No, ma'am. No.
Okay, shall I proceed? So in our, so my basic research area is rehabilitation engineering. So we are working on different small gadgets that can help the people. So this one thing developed by our student, simple voiceover device, which we call it as an artificial voice box. So very small setup that where the hearing aids is going to have a mic, followed by a digital processing unit, and then a converter and a speaker. But what is the aim of this work is what? If a person, if a person is having some problem, suppose we'll take an example as an articulation problem. Articulation problem is where the person, whatever they speak, okay, they can't able to understand. So they have some speech impairment. But the child will definitely will talk. But அந்த மாதிரி குழந்தைங்களுக்கு இப்ப நம்ம ஒரு இமீடியட்டா நம்ம அட்ரஸ் பண்றோம்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க, they'll get too much of anger. So to understand what the child is trying to speak, okay, so we developed a small unit or application we developed using all this gadget. So whatever the child is, this comes under the speech therapy also. So whatever the child is trying to communicate, our system will pick up the voice and it will process it and it will give us a clear output. So that is the idea behind this voice boxes. So let me. This is one concept where the child is telling. So hello, மட்டும் நான் இங்க include பண்ணிருக்கேன். So this வந்து normally என்ன பண்ணுவோம்னா ஒரு ADHD ஒரு attention deficit hyperactive disorder spectral disorder இருக்கிற பிள்ளைங்க autism child. So அந்த குழந்தைங்களுக்கு கூட sometimes என்ன ஆகும் அப்படின்னா communication gap இருக்கும். So அவங்க பேசுறத வந்து my voice artificial voice box will give us a clear output. So the child was trying to tell hello, but it was not clear, but our system have identified it as a clear. So this work is still in progress. We're working on it. And other one which I was telling about the smart gaming system. So this one we got an award, Best Project Award also we have won, where it is a gaming platform for hand rehabilitation. So if a paralyzed subject use பண்றதை விட சில பேருக்கு பாத்தீங்கன்னா நம்பர்ஸ் இருக்கும். ஸோ எந்த பர்டிகுலர் ஃபிங்கர் மட்டும் மூவ்மெண்டே இருக்காது அவங்களுக்கு. ஸோ அவர் எய்ம் இஸ் வெதர் with our exercise pattern, with the game that we have, our exercise pattern as a gaming we develop. So using that, performing the activities, whether they got back their finger movements. That is what our major idea. We developed a different gaming system, okay, for each and every finger, and that has been implemented. So we tried this in Tanjavur Medical College. One of our physiotherapists gave us the permission to work with people those who are getting rehabilitation application for hand movement. So you have to enter the patient details and you have to, which game you want to play, that has to be chosen. So small gaming has been developed as a balloon pop-up gaming. So this is for the complete hand movement. All the 5 fingers movement we have designed. So each and every finger is a separate gaming module we have developed. So the person has to pop up the red balloon. So depending upon the balloon the movement he is doing, okay, the camera is capturing all the information, and that information where we measure the angle and the movement has been converted as a control module for the game activities. So the popping of the balloon, for every popping a score will be appearing for the person. So this method we tried it for 1 month. Actually the rehabilitation program is done for 1 month for them, but different gaming concept, and we saw a very good movement action happening in their fingers. And this is what I'm talking about, this biofeedback concept, and this is being developed by our student, where this is specially designed for a person with attention deficit hyperactive disorder. A child who is having some problem, they can't able to get back immediately to our call. Okay, so for those children we have developed. So the idea behind this is where a ECG, a small ECG amplifier will be made to a person to hear as a band, or directly it will be placed in the chest for the children, those who have attention deficit hyperactive disorder. So the signal will be captured and the signal will be monitored in our through Wi-Fi. It will be communicated to the system. And but what we have done is we have acquired the signal and we process the signal using MATLAB. So in the MATLAB, we have the major parameter that we have major feature that we have extracted from the ECG of the subject is what the heart rate variability. So what is heart rate variability is? It is the time interval between the consecutive peak of the R waves. So where this time interval should be very high. It is understood that the person is in a relaxed condition. Suppose if the interval is reducing, it means that the child is moving to some anxiety or moving to some phobic condition. And so once if the heart rate variability is decreasing for the child, sudden first the குழந்தையை நம்ம அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ண வைக்கணும் இல்லையா, நீ you are in a safer zone. So what this gadget will do, it will play a song, or it will intimate the patient that your HRV is varying. What is the problem? So why you are moving? So try to come back to a normal state. கொஞ்சம் அமைதியா இருங்க, அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு வாய்ஸ் அவுட்புட் வரும். After that, for 1 minute, after 60 seconds. Okay, so if the HRV is not increasing again, a music will be played. Okay, for the child, so in order to bring back the attention for the child, even though the child is not coming to the normal or the HRV is not getting increased, message will be sent to the caretaker or their parents. So this later on we connected. The work is still in progress. We have not published still now because we have added the GSR, that is a galvanic skin response of the subject that we are measuring. And suddenly, when the child is going to anxiety, the muscle will become to contract more. So a muscle EMG also be picking up to understand the muscle tension. So all these three sensors has been come out as a wearable unit where a child or the patient has to wear, and everything will be sent as a biofeedback system to make their some changes by themselves. So you can see the ECG. So music is played. Or the call will be or will be sent to the parents. Even after also the child is not coming to the you can see the child message has been sent to the home caretaker or the parents. And this is also a rehabilitation type of work with wearable system. This is be done along with the CNC value. The major idea behind this is what through camera, yeah, we made the movements happening in the fingers, so hand movements are being improvised. But there is another concept that if you want to capture something, if you want to hold a water bottle or something, what is the grip you are going to give? That is more important to find out in order to bring back the exact movement for the paralyzed individual. So this topic is assessment and training of the gross grip strength and finger individualization. So we used two set of sensors here. One is a load cell, other one is an FSR. So this sensor will understand the pressure that you're going to give on your hands. Okay. And then based on that, if your gripping is good, then it will intimate you that this is a reasonable grip that you can provide when you want to pick up your water bottle or something. Okay, so this kind of gadgets also we have developed. So this one, to understand the gripping strength, the pressure they are giving to the fingers is being manipulated as a gaming module. So depending upon the force they are giving, okay, corresponding tunes will be played in the piano. So they can keep on practice to, if the gripping strength is high, the volume of the tone that will be generated will also be high. So in that way, we have developed a gaming platform for them. So they can practice accordingly to give the pressure in their finger in order to hold the objects. So this is another work. And this is also a similar concept where we have performed rehabilitations using post detection for particular back pain. So this we worked along with a rehabilitation center. So we have three set of gaming modules. So this is another exercise. So front and back bending. So this is another for leg lifting. So this is one other gaming method. So this one, this is also separately we have done for children with hemiplegia or children those who can't able to move their fingers. So a gaming model has been done as a wearable sensor, but here we used a flex sensor where the flex sensor will be weared as a glove for the children, and they can perform certain activities like painting or bending. So it is a flex sensor is nothing but a piezoresistive type of sensor where it is a bending angle sensor we used to call, depending upon the flexion that you're making in your fingers, the bending angle, based on that, the resistance change, and that is being converted in as a control mode for activation of the gaming. So we've developed a simple painting for children. So once the child has to paint what is present in the right hand side of the picture. So by bending, you can see the coloring of the cartoon will happen. So once the threshold, so we'll fix a threshold for every bending. So இவ்வளவு தூரம் the fingers வந்து bend ஆகணும் அப்படின்றது கான்செப்ட். So the threshold reach ஆகும்போது the color will be automatically painted by the children. So you will get an appreciation message for their work. So till this, I go for the first session. If you have any doubts, you can please feel to ask. I don't know how.
Participants, if you have any doubt, raise your questions.
So I don't know how many of you are from biomedical background here, because if you are from EC, if you have any doubts in the biological concept also, you can please free to ask. I'll try to explain.
Participants, you can just this wonderful platform to raise your questions.
You can post your message in chat also if you're unable to.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening.
Ma'am, you tell many devices for monitoring the health like that, no, ma'am. Any devices for monitoring the growth of the kids' teeth, ma'am? Teeth.
No, ma'am, that we can't able to do, ma'am. But we have an electrical stimulation for the tongue, but it doesn't have anything for the teeth. Why
Okay,
you so particular to understand the teeth development? It is a natural process that happens.
Yes, ma'am. But my two kids are having that problem. They have no kid. My son is 5 years old, ma'am. Now he is not having the front four teeth. They are like அரிக்கிறதுன்னு சொல்லுவாங்கல்ல மேம் அந்த மாதிரி அரிச்சிருச்சு. So I am having doubt.
Tooth fall ஆயிடுச்சா இல்ல now only fall ஆகாம அப்படியே இருக்கா?
Fall ஆயிருச்சு. Fall இன்னும் கொஞ்சோண்டு சொத்த மாதிரி மேல இருக்குங்க.
Actually, till 7 years you can expect, madam. The tooth development மட்டும் 7 வயசு வரைக்கும் மாறிக்கிட்டே இருக்கும் ஒரு பல்லுங்களுக்கு. அதனால you can wait and see. Otherwise, you can supplement வந்து you can give as a tablet இல்லாம calcium foods you can make the child to eat.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, madam.
Any wearables that is?
Ma'am, chronic disease and mental disorder அப்படின்னு வரும்போது what kind of mental disorder is? But diagnostic and therapeutic வரும்போது I'll just give some what are all the gadgets available, we'll discuss there. But இப்போ பார்த்தீங்கன்னா for major wearable system concept போகிறது வந்து for attention deficit and spectral disorderன்னு சொல்றாங்க இல்லையா, ADHD, attention deficit hyperactive and autism. இந்த ரெண்டு கான்செப்ட் பிள்ளைங்களுக்கு தான் வந்து நிறைய வேரியபிள் கான்செப்ட் போறாங்க. அவங்க நார்மலி we all are in our university we are mostly trying with gaming platform. But my professor is working on EG concept. I'm working on GSR as well as ECG and EMG to understand how the tension of the child is happening at the sudden time of panic வருது. இது wearable வந்து மாறி போனாலே இந்த சென்சர்ஸ் தான் அவைலபிள் மார்க்கெட்ல. either you can use galvanic skin response, இல்லைன்னா ECG சென்சார்னு அவைலபிள் இருக்கு, இல்ல pulse sensor is also available where both can be used as a to monitor a vital pattern. அப்படி இல்லைன்னா EMG சென்சார் இருக்கு. பட் யூ ஹாவ் டு கிரியேட் அ பியூட்டிஃபுல் அல்காரிதம் வேர் all the sensors can be mapped and those features can be automatically extracted and that can be used as a ஒரு மானிட்டரிங் யூனிட்டா நீங்க கொண்டு வரலாம். அது எல்லாத்தையும் கிளப் பண்ணி கொண்டு வர்றது தான் ரொம்ப கஷ்டம். That is what we are trying because we tried for ECG, but GSR வந்து ரொம்ப கஷ்டமா இருக்கு because GSR skin activities-உம் ECG-யுமே வந்து நிறைய வேரியேஷன்ஸ் அந்த டைம்ல. இப்போ what we do was we show them a video, ஒரு பேனிக் வீடியோ காமிப்போம். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஒரு 2 minutes வீடியோ will be running. அதுல ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஒரு 3 seconds to 4 seconds என்ன ஆகும் அப்படின்னா ஒரு நேச்சுரல் நல்ல ஒரு பிளசண்டான வீடியோ will come. ஆஃப்டர் ஒரு 1 minute பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு அன்பிளசன்ட் வீடியோ வரும். ரொம்ப ஃபியரியா அந்த குழந்தைக்கு என்ன ஃபோபிக்கா இருக்கும் அந்த வீடியோ பிளே பண்ணுவோம். அப்படி பிளே போது பார்க்கும்போது அந்த ECG-யும் GSR-உமே வந்து மேப் ஆகல கரெக்டா.
பாஸ்வேர்ட் என்னன்னு கேள்வி சஞ்சய் கிட்ட. இப்பதான் உள்ள நம்ம கடைக்குள்ள வந்தியா?
I'm sorry, you can proceed, ma'am.
மேம் பேபி க்ரோத்துக்கு வந்து நீங்க அந்த வாட் ஐ செட் வாஸ் சேம் கான்செப்ட் தான் மேம். பட் ஃபீட்டஸ் டெவலப்மெண்ட்டுக்கு வந்து உங்களுக்கு பெட்டர் டு கோ வித் டயக்னோஸ்டிக் யூசிங் அல்ட்ராசவுண்ட் ஸ்கேனர்ஸ் தான். பட் பேபியோட ஹார்ட் ரேட் நீங்க வந்து யூ கேன் ஏபிள் டு லிசன் யூசிங் திஸ் ECG சென்சர் விச் இஸ் கனெக்டட் டு த ஸ்பீக்கர். அந்த ஒரு ஆப் இருக்கு. யூ கேன் மானிட்டர் த ஹார்ட் ரேட், ஹார்ட் சவுண்ட் வரைக்கும் நீங்க கேட்கலாம். But growth of the baby inறது வந்து it is quite difficult to something if you go for a external audio. பட் இப்போ இந்த சித்தா மெடிசன் சொல்லுவாங்கல்ல மணி கடன் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க, வேர் அந்த wrist-ஓட circumference வச்சு some disease கண்டுபிடிப்பாங்க. But we have developed a device to measure the circumference of all your fingers and wrist. That can be used with child-ஓட growth or measurement நீங்க மெஷர் பண்ணோம்னா I think that can be used. Photoplethysmography. I think menstrual blood flow மெஷர் பண்ண முடியாது மேடம். பட் urine flow-க்கு we have a device. Urine flow can be found out. Urinometers are available. அது வந்து கிரிட்டிக்கல் கேர் யூனிட்ஸ்ல நாங்க என்ன பண்ணுவோம் அப்படின்னா we developed a urinometer in our lab. Depending upon the weight of the bag, அவங்க எவ்வளவு யூரின் கலெக்ட் ஆகுதுன்னு பார்த்து அவங்க ஃப்ளோ ரேட் வரைக்கும் மெஷர் பண்ணோம். தட் இஸ் பாசிபிள். பட் மென்சுரல் சைக்கிள் வந்து இட்ஸ் கம்ப்ளீட்லி ஹார்மோனல் ஆக்டிவிட்டிஸ் ஹேப்பனிங் இன் யோர் பாடி. நம்ம ஹார்மோன்ஸ் மெஷர் பண்ற அளவுக்கு இன்னும் வந்து நம்ம பயோசென்சர்ஸ் ஃபெசிலிட்டி போல. அண்ட் photoplethysmography, PPG சிக்னல்ஸ். இப்போ இந்த now the research is going on from PPG. They're trying to calculate your heart rate. அதெல்லாம் ட்ரை பண்றாங்க. பட் that is not well டெக்னிக்கலா யூஸ் பண்ண முடியல because the parameters are not matching. அது ரொம்ப difficult process also that is actually to measure the PPG வந்து. பட் நீங்க அந்த IR and infrared concept இருக்கு இல்லையா, what is used in the pulse oximeter, that can be used to understand some vital parameters. ரெட்டினல் ப்ராப்ளம் மேடம். ரெட்டினல் ப்ராப்ளம் வந்து இப்போ நீங்க நான் சொன்னது மயோபியா சொன்னேன். தட் இஸ் நியர் சைட் அண்ட் ஃபார் சைட் ஹைப்பரோபியா. There is another problem called as astigmatism, where the focus will be completely smudged inside this. But retinal fundus camera இருக்கு, portable fundus camera. நாங்க இப்ப அனீமிக் டிடெக்ஷனுக்கு பார்த்துருக்கோம். பிகாஸ் இந்த கன்ஜெக்டிவா இருக்கு இல்லையா, கன்ஜெக்டிவால இருந்து அனீமியாவா இல்லையா அப்படின்றத அனீமிக்கா இல்லையா அப்படின்றத இமேஜிங் மூலமா we have developed a gadget for that, which is also portable. பட் ரெட்டினா அப்படின்னு பார்க்கும்போது இட் இஸ் குவைட் டிஃபிகல்ட் மேடம். ஃபண்டஸ் கேமரால மட்டும்தான் யூ கேன் ஏபிள் டு சி த ரெட்டினல் லேயர். அது அந்த மாதிரி கொண்டு வரணும்னா we have to develop accordingly. இந்த லென்ஸ் போட்டு we have to develop accordingly. But we have a mob scope. நாங்க என்ன பண்ணோம் அப்படின்னா, ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பிளட் ஸ்மியர் இருக்கு இல்லையா, பிளட் ஸ்மியர்ல நார்மலா மலேரியல் பேராசைட் இருக்கா இல்லையா அப்படின்ற கான்செப்டுக்கு ஒரு மொபைல் மாப்ஸ்கோப் மாதிரி டெவலப் பண்ணி வித் ஹெல்ப் ஆஃப் மொபைல் கேமரா அந்த இமேஜை பார்த்தீங்கன்னா வாட் இமேஜ் யூ கெட் இட் த்ரூ மைக்ரோஸ்கோப், அந்த இமேஜ் பிளாட் ஆகுற மாதிரி we have developed a மாப்ஸ்கோப். So from that it automatically counts if there is any parasite is there and will tell you whether the person is having a malaria or not. And you are also trying for other pathogens also. But in the anemic we are trying to calculate the blood count, but still the work is in process. We have applied for patent. It is in published state, but still, I can't tell you exactly what the Mopscope will do in that. We'll start, ma'am, after 5 minutes, or we'll continue the session.
You can take a short break, ma'am, if you want, or else we can continue, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Dear participants, kindly stay on the line. The next session will start in 5 minutes. Thank you.
So, the next topic we'll discuss on the wearable system, how it is helpful for diagnostic and therapeutic applications. So, diagnostic means where it has to detect some disease. Should be where it is, what is a diagnostic means? It has to identify that the person is having these kind of problems. So, where what we have seen before, how it is reshaping mode itself, We have seen that the ECG concept, we have seen EMG concept, EEG. So where from the ECG or blood pressure or from pulse rate, you can tell that the problem, what kind of problem the person is going to have. So diagnostic is identification of the disease pattern or identification of certain changes in the vital parameters. So that may lead to some adverse effect if it is not taken care at the right time. So the wearable tool, which we have seen already, well, in the previous topic itself covers most of the diagnostic applications. But therapeutic is a different terminology. Therapy means some treatment. Treatment for certain, இப்போ நீங்க எந்த டிசீஸ்க்கு போனாலுமே எனி கைண்ட் ஆஃப் டிசீஸ் மொடாலிட்டி எடுத்துட்டாலுமே நீங்க ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் ப்ரொசீஜர் அப்படின்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஒன்லி மெடிகேஷன்ஸ் இஸ் பீங் ஃபாலோட். Any kind of, if you go for some cardiac problem, they'll give you some tablets, or you have to perform some normal health style, or you have to change your food habits accordingly. But therapy நம்ம டைரக்டா எதிர்பார்க்கறது வந்து for pain relief மட்டும்தான் இல்லையா? சடன் எனக்கு வந்து ஃப்ராசன் ஷோல்டர், கையே தூக்க முடியல, இட்ஸ் கம்ப்ளீட்லி பெயின்ஃபுல், கால் நடக்க முடியல. ஓகே, ஸோ அந்த பெயினை ரிலீவ் பண்றதுக்கு தான் we have some therapeutic devices itself. So first what I have framed was, I showed some diagnostic therapeutic and I showed some therapeutic diagnostic equipment separately, therapeutic equipment separately, and how these equipments implemented in the concept of wearable. That only I've just focused. So before going to that, I thought of telling the evolution that happened in the healthcare technology. So the healthcare 1.0 அப்படின்னு பார்க்கும்போது, it is a period of where 1970 to 1990s have started. So in the healthcare 1.0, major contribution என்ன அப்படின்னா, they want to digitize the patient data. That was the first thing. Because if you want to diagnose something, if the patient is having some fever, the patient is having some a cardiac problem. So what the doctor will do in the olden days, they'll write up the patient is having so problem, and the prescription that has to be followed either as a medication or as a therapy. These are the prescriptions. So if that prescription has been digitized, okay, now in the current scenario, இப்போ இந்த உலகத்துல you just imagine that there are 10 lakhs of specialists available in a cardiology alone. Okay, and the 10 lakh specialist உடைய treatment procedure உங்களுக்கு கிடைச்சதுனாலே, that is the biggest hit. You can find out easily what is the treatment for this particular arrhythmiasis. Bradycardia இருக்கு, bradycardia அப்படின்னா ஹார்ட் ரேட் வந்து உங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப ஸ்லோவாயிடும். இப்போ 75 beats per minute is my normal heart rate அப்படின்னா உங்களுக்கு வந்து 45 to 60 கீழே இறங்கிடும் ஹார்ட் ரேட். இதுவே டாக்கிகார்டியா அப்படின்னா வேகமா பீட் ஆகும். ஸோ 100 beats per minute மேல உங்களுக்கு இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆகும். ஸோ இந்த மாதிரி கான்செப்ட் ஒரு பேஷண்ட் இருக்கு. That patient has been followed this particular prescription அப்படின்றத நீங்க வந்து ரிப்பீட்டடா கிடைக்கும் போது, so what you can compare and see that this is a proper medication for this particular treatment. So digitizing happened in 1990s. Actually, to be very frankly, it started in 1990s, where the only technology they have implemented is what? To convert all the handwritten prescriptions to a digitized mode. So அது என்னெல்லாம் ட்ரை பண்ணாங்க டிஜிட்டைசேஷன்ல பார்க்கும்போது, பேஷண்ட்ஸ் physician centric. ஸோ அந்த டாக்டர் என்ன பிரிஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணாரு, and then manual records written by the nurses. All your discharge summary ஒன்று இருக்கும். அந்த பேஷண்ட் ஹாஸ்பிட்டல்ல வந்து அட்மிட் ஆகுறாங்க அப்படின்னா, அட்மிட் ஆகும்போது அவங்களுக்கு கிடைக்கிற ப்ரொசீஜர். So the manual records have been digitized and evidence based. So which doctor, which patient, what is the age of the patient, what is the treatment followed, and that evidence proof has been attached as a report. And the report digitize பண்ணாங்க. Then human relationship, யாரெல்லாம் உங்களுக்கு அட்டென்ட் பண்ணா, like the patient is really came for what particular condition and what treatment has been done. So that was the first 1.0 target. But it has been achieved. Right now you have a separate link. NLM இருக்கும், National Medical Library ஒன்று இருக்கும் உங்களுக்கு லிங்க். நீங்க போய் அந்த நேஷனல் லைப்ரரி லிங்க்குள்ள போயிட்டு எனி கைண்ட் ஆஃப் டிசீஸை பத்தி லேர்ன் பண்ணணும்னு போட்டாலே all the informations would have been now displayed, and they give along with the treatment and they give along with the procedure that has to be followed in order to overcome that particular disease. So that was the first technology evolution. The health sector, that was the first thing. More priority was given. And next, from once the digitization is started, then you have to allow all these data to be available in one place. இல்லையா ஸோ அப்ப என்ன பண்ணாங்கன்னா டீசென்ட்ரலைசேஷன் ஒரு கான்செப்ட் வந்தது வேர் all the medical records, or they call it as an electronic health record, EHR அப்படின்னா electronic health record or medical health record they used to call, that has to be available in the hospital. இப்போ ஒரு அப்போலோ சென்டர் இருக்கு, அப்போலோ வந்து வேர்ல்டு வைட் இருக்குன்னா அந்த மொத்த அப்போலோ போய் என்ன ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் ஃபாலோ பண்ணாங்கன்னு கொடுத்தாங்க அப்படின்னா ஹெல்த் ரெக்கார்ட்ல இருந்து the information has to be displayed for them. So technology centric and digitization of the records have been done in the second sector in the healthcare of 2.0. So even the decentralization is done. What is the healthcare of 3.0 is the user experience. The doctor should be well aware of using this technology. That is more important. So they want to bring the automation here. When I pay a blood report, and a blood report I get my results in the next day. Okay, so where it takes 24 hours. Even if you till date, if you want to culture your blood or sample or your urine sample to find out any pathogens is available, they normally take 72 hours, 3 days at the result. Or in some special pathogens, they'll take around some 5 days to find out which particular pathogen is creating the problem in your body. But if the entire biochemistry use பண்ற all analyzers are made automated அப்படின்னா in the 3 days நீங்க wait பண்ற result within few hours you can able to get. So that is where the automation lies. So healthcare 3.0 this was totally implemented, and there the cost reduction by the government is given for the medications during that era. At the same time, the wearable device and the concept they started using at that particular healthcare 3.0 only. And next moving forward, the next phase all thing is available only in the hospital. It will be available in a hospital, but if you want to use it, research I want to research about some data that has been collected from different patients in different area. The real-time data collection was quite challenging, because when I was doing my research, Bharat scans, we have an MOU with Anna University, so we have to go and get all the data that has been available. Image processing, signal processing, we'll be getting there the source for us to get for the patient data. And we also have many very nice DICOM so where you have to do a separate process in order to convert it to DICOM imaging in a readable form and to do the processing. But the real-time data collection romba kashtam. 10 years or 20 years before na solren. But you have this wearable technology concept you can go in any rural place, you can collect the data, and you can come and you can process for your research application. So that era was called as a healthcare 4.0, and where a new algorithms have been developed, like machine learning and artificial intelligence concept implement pannaga. One more example I will take, ultrasound scanners at Pillar. The ultrasound scanners in the 2000 recent or 5 years before if you went for any scan and if you are reporting if suddenly there is a mass and the mass identify you have to go for a biopsy one day. But if you have the current technology device, okay, now currently in any hospitals, if you go, ultrasound scanners and the mass malignant benign, that cancerous and non-cancerous the algorithm which has been implemented in the software automatically stays that. So you need not wait time or push yourself in performing all these activities like biopsy. Even all the CT MRI has implemented with latest ML and AI algorithms, where it will directly tell the mass identified is not a cancerous or non-cancerous or cancerous. So till this, we are well developed. But what is the current scenario? We are in the healthcare 5.0. So the personalization comes, where each individual, you see your own health status daily. That is where the wearable technology plays an important role again. So So digital wellness, fast and efficient in understanding your own vital signs. உங்களுக்கு பார்த்தாலே தெரியும் இல்லையா, ஹார்ட் ரேட் பார்க்கும்போதே you have a very good knowledge of which is the normal range, which comes where the problem lies if the person is having any heart problem like arrhythmiasis. இல்ல எனக்கு வந்து rhythm proper இல்ல. Okay, so that you can able to judge by yourself. So immediate action you can take whenever you find it to be discomfort in your data. And this will really lead to some lifelong partnership with the gadgets. Okay, so currently we are in this state, and I've also showcased what are all the surgical equipments or any equipment that has been used in olden days, and currently where we are moved on. So in the evolution based panni, what is the technology is applicable in modern healthcare system? What is the importance of it? I have told in this sector. So அதுல வந்து ஒரு மேஜர் கான்செப்ட் பாத்தீங்கன்னா wearable devices தான் comes a very play role. So first they are want to document, digitize the prescriptions given by the doctors, and it has made it available as a decentralized பண்ணணும். Any hospital, somewhere in the hospital, the data has to be available, and it has to be easily accessible. So that where the first thing lies, electronic health record. Second one, if you want to transfer the information to some other doctor's knowledge, okay, that way the telehealth concept have come. What we have done during the pandemic, the same concept is here. So all the medical records of the patients can be transferred, and you can find out what the treatment or what is it. Actual diagnostic can be done by a remote doctor also. If you want to go with the real-time monitoring, you can use a wearable device concept, and that will directly help the doctor to monitor from a remote place, and that will also help as a diagnostic procedure for certain impairments. But the wearable device should be definitely connected with some mobile applications. So that is where the another digitization enters, technology enters in the health sector, and then becomes to the personalized medicine. Personalized medicine நான் டச்சே பண்ணல. Personalized medicine என்ன அப்படின்னா, one of the question raised whether fetus development வந்து நம்ம பார்க்கலாமா அப்படின்னு ஒரு question raise பண்ணாங்க. But இப்போ there is some ultrasound techniqueல இருந்து நீங்க அந்த fetus உடைய problem identify பண்ணிட்டு, now you have a special test to perform that hereditary disease is transferred to the child, the fetus. அது என்ன அப்படின்னா, it's no other go, the sample of the fetus will be taken, a small blood sample will be taken from the fetus, and certain analysis has to be performed. அது in vitro test தான் அது wearable conceptல வராது. But if the child is having any hereditary disease அப்படின்றத கண்டுபிடிச்சிட்டாங்க அப்படின்னா, நீங்க gene treatmentல the gene coding சொல்றாங்க இல்லையா, that can be done, that can be injected to the fetus, so the fetus can be cured in the mother's womb itself without having these kind of hereditary disorder. அதுதான் personalized medicine. The current அது ரொம்ப பாப்புலர் ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு. I don't know how many hospitals are doing, because we have to get some legal approval from the government to perform all these things. One more thing which I have not added here is the implants. Implants சொல்ல wearable வரும்போது implants பத்தி நான் எதுவுமே பேசல. Cardiac implants எல்லாம் பார்த்திருக்கீங்க. Pacemaker is a very good example I can tell. Those implants there, you can do some modifications. That also comes under the personalized medicine. Using of the fracture fixation, design develop மாத்தி பண்ணிருக்கேன். So அவங்களுடைய genetical concept affect ஆகாத மாதிரி I have created implants அப்படின்னாலும் that comes under the personalized medicine. So when all these 4 units, the first 4 concepts to be achieved well enough, we need a telemedicine concept to be available in the gadgets. ஏன்னா ஒரு வீடியோ கான்ஃபரன்சிங் சடனா ஒரு image I have shown in the right hand side is depicting the surgical robot doing the surgical robotic surgery or example to கொடுத்திருக்கேன். But even that has to be performed, you should need a proper telemedicine concept. Video conferencing இருக்கணும், அதுக்குரிய proper channel satellite position அந்த hospital வாங்கி இருக்கணும். So all this comes under the telemedicine concept. So everything has been made, but if you made the record, if you're not created any electronic medical records, again the data நமக்கு வந்து சேவா இருக்காது. So the technology வந்து நீங்க எந்த அளவுக்கு யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம்னா, where the data protection கூட நீங்க ரொம்ப யூஸ் பண்ணலாம். Where you have to create a data, because those data plays a very vital role in research applications for advancement. So from this, I'll go directly to the diagnostic instruments. So I've only displayed all the diagnostic instruments that if you go and visit to the hospital for any condition. I've shown all the diagnostic equipments here. So out of which some I will stethoscope I have shown here to understand your heart sound. Okay. And blood pressure monitor I've shown here, and spirometer to understand your respiratory vital volume capacity. நீங்க எவ்வளவு வந்து எக்ஸேல் பண்றீங்க, இன்ஹலேஷன் expiration pressure எவ்வளவு இருக்கு, sorry, expiration rate எவ்வளவு இருக்கு, that can be find out using the spirometer which I've shown here. And so these are, I have also shown this ECG machine here and the dental X-ray காமிச்சிருக்கேன். And this is nothing but the dialyzing unit, dialyzer, hemodialyzer I have given. And incubator for the children, okay, if light treatment, and other thermometers and digital thermometer I've shown here. And these are some gas analyzers I've shown. So these are some diagnostic instruments that is available. And these are some infuse pump I have shown here. And இது வந்து ஒரு இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட்ஸ் மட்டும் உங்க வைட்டல் சயின்ஸ் பண்ணி உங்களுக்கு ப்ராப்பரா at the time of இதுல எனி ப்ராப்ளம் இருக்கா அப்படின்றத வந்து நீங்க சொல்லலாம். I'm sorry, this is anesthesia machine. Okay, it's not a dialyzer. Dialyzer I'll show later. So, but major diagnostic equipment, what comes in our mind immediately in பார்க்கும்போது all the radiological equipments தான் வரும். So I've shown a ultrasound scanner. All internal organs can be visualized. It's a very simple concept of working with the sound waves, sonic waves. And ECG I have shown here, and electroencephalography EG, and endoscopy, internal organs, tract, esophagus problem irukka. That can be identified using endoscopy. And X-ray is a basic thing to understand any fracture problem is there. And MRI is both for soft tissues as well as hard tissues. Magnetic resonance imaging is quite helpful. If you diagnostic equipment I have shown, yeah. The separator, X-ray machine, mammogram I have shown, CT I have shown here, and interventional radiography. Rather, while performing surgery, you want to see your this. They are doing all this cardiac surgery, yeah. Plasties they'll do, angioplasty or something. So at that time, they have to view whether the medicine is moving properly. So for that, they go for the interventional radiography. While performing surgery, they have to use the thing. And this is what dental X-ray I have shown here. So ivlo paathom இல்லையா diagnostic equipment la, can you imagine which equipment can be made wearable here? It is really difficult to make any of these because radiological equipment we can't use because we doesn't get we have an ultrasound scanner here, but we didn't get the proper permission from the government to use its scanner. And I use பண்ண முடியல ஏன்னா அது வந்து sonic signals இருக்கு, how you can record அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டாங்க. So we can't have we will never have the permission for using any of the radiological equipment inside the university or campus unless otherwise it's in hospital. So we'll be linking with the hospital. So hospital training, the students will be going and visiting the hospitals and understand the working principle of this. And we have a separate theory also radiological equipment. So all easy for us to create a wearable unit is from these two concepts, EEG as well as ECG. And இதுலயும் நமக்கு ரொம்ப கஷ்டம், எதுவுமே நான் எல்லாமே ரேடியாலஜி பேஸ் பண்ணுது. So we can't able to make any of this as a wearable things. And apart from these things, we have another special concept called as monitoring devices. இது வந்து ஒரு patient monitoring system அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம். இந்த diagnostic procedure தான் wearable conceptக்கு convert ஆச்சு, normally speaking. So where your ECG and your atrial pressure and your sound waves, PPG சொன்னீங்கல்ல, phonocardiography signal, that can be seen visually, be seen in the monitor. So these sensors can be removed. இதான் பண்ணிட்டாங்க ஆக்சுவலா wearable. இது தனியா எடுத்துட்டு you can make it as a small gadget and make the subject to wear it, and you have to create a proper application in order to transfer the information to the mobile or the laptop. So that is where the wearable concept enters. So இப்போ இவ்ளோ பார்த்தோம். அதுல இந்த ஒரு கான்செப்ட் தான் we can able to bring it as a wearable device for diagnostic application. Okay, other than that, we can't able to touch any of the radiological equipment or anything. That is what we went for the VR and AR implementation here, because through camera, physically you can monitor the individual, and the movements done by the individual can be mapped based on the biomarkers you're going to place on the body. From there, on the movement angle, limb movement, அது மட்டும் தான் நம்மளால monitor பண்ண முடியும். So that is where we can diagnose what problem the subject is having. If you can't able to lift, do the positions, so you can say the person is having some cramps or muscle spasm or frozen shoulder in the thing. And the person walking pattern is different. So அவங்களுக்கு என்ன type of problem இருக்குன்றத image வச்சு கண்டுபிடிக்கலாம். That comes under the diagnostic tool for the wearables concept. So now I've showcased some therapeutic devices that is available in the market. So first treatment procedure, as I told, the only thing is medicine தான். நாமளே இருந்தாலும் நீங்களே இருந்தாலும் சரி, ஒரு மாத்திரை போட்டாதான் நமக்கு நல்லா இருக்கும் அப்படின்னு ஃபீல் பண்ணுவீங்க. Other than that, you need some device in order to reduce your pain. So pain வரும்போதுதான் we go for the diathermy concept. Diathermy அப்படின்றது வந்து different types, stages are there. Interferential therapy, IFT சொல்லுவாங்க, they pass a current on your body, and this current will go and create a beautiful environment for the muscle. So என்ன பண்ணும் அப்படின்னா ஒன்றும் கிடையாது. The current impulse will go and touch your muscle. So the transfer of electric current. So once that signal has been observed by the tissues present there, automatically any reaction will be implemented as a heat energy. So that heat energy enna பண்ணும் அப்படின்னா will give a soothing effect in the spasm area. So muscle and contraction இருக்குன்னா the heat energy உள்ளுக்குள்ளேயே generate ஆகிறதால அந்த pain அந்த patientக்கு வந்து relieve ஆகும். That is the concept behind the interferential therapy, which I have told you. Okay. The other one, this is வந்து ultrasound shortwave diathermy அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம். Shortwave signals, high frequency signals, ஒரு 22 megahertz அந்த மாதிரி சிக்னல்ஸ் வந்து பாஸ் பண்ணும்போது those signals will go and agitate, ஒரு வைப்ரேஷன் வந்து அந்த மசில்ல கொண்டு போய் கொடுக்கும். So that will create a relaxation there. But the concept behind this diathermy அப்படின்னா gate control therapyன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. What is gate control therapy அப்படின்னா, நீங்க இப்ப அந்த decision, இப்ப the pain signal எப்படி டிராவல் ஆகுது, you have a pain here, நீங்க அந்த பெயின் நினைக்கிறதாலதான் உங்களுக்கு அந்த பெயின் ரொம்ப ஜாஸ்தியா தெரியும். So this information from the spinal cord, so you have the spinal cord, peripheral nerves இருக்கும், peripheral ல இருந்து the information is going to your sensory nerves used to tell. The information will go to the spinal cord, and the spinal cord ல இருந்து it will be sent to the brain, central nervous system, so where to understand the pain. But our concept of this diathermy is where the signal sent to the brain should be stopped. So that is where the diathermy comes. So the decision will be taken by the spinal cord rather than by your brain. So upon the pain you feel பண்ண மாட்டீங்க. So obviously you get a very good relaxation when you go for these kind of therapeutic benefits. And one more treatment I've shown here is a pacemaker device. So இதுவும் வந்து based on the concept called as electrical stimulation, functional electrical. So only electrical stimulation, a small impulse will be given. So whenever the heart muscle is in a contracted state, அது ரிலாக்ஸ் ஆகலைன்னும் போதுதான் உங்களுக்கு வந்து pumping action discomfort வரும். So you want the muscle to get relaxed no more. நீங்க என்ன பண்ணுவீங்க, you give an impulse to the muscle. So obviously the electrical impulse will try to release the contraction. So every time, yes. Okay. So every time, any doubt is there, or shall I continue? So depending upon the impulse given, the relaxation of the muscle happens. And in the pacemaker, one the implantable type, so this also comes under the wearable concept only. So this is one example. We can take it as a therapeutic wearable device. The pacemakers are all the implantable device which is going to work with electrical stimulation comes under the same concept only. Then I have given a capnometer. Capnometer, we call it as what is it, sudden pending on the apnea detector nu solluva. Actually, it's not a capnometer, it's an apnea detector. Apnea அப்படின்னா sudden cessation of the breath. So நீங்க the person is having some respiratory problem, okay, அவங்களுக்கு இந்த apnea problem இருக்கு, சடனா அவங்களுக்கு மூச்சு விடல, இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு apnea problem வந்து தூக்கத்துல அவங்களுக்கு நடக்கும் போது it is quite dangerous. So these detector will detect, they have to place mouth cap கொடுத்துருவாங்க, so they have to wear the mouth mask and they have to sleep. So the inhalation and exhalation of the person breathing pattern when the monitor panni, it will keep on tell the thing. At the same time, they will also have a capnometer, that is a detector, that a sensor that detects the level of carbon dioxide and oxygen in your breath. So any variation in this component also, it will give an alarm that the patient is suffocating or something. Or if the breath is suddenly stopped, if there is no movement of breathing, inhalation, exhalation, இல்லாத பட்சத்துல again it will send an alarm. So இது வந்து apnea detector which has to be worn while you are sleeping if the person is having any kind of a respiratory disease. And இதுவும் wearable conceptல ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிள் எடுத்துக்கலாம். பட் எலக்ட்ரிக்கல் ஸ்டிமுலேஷனை கேரி பண்ண முடியாது. We have to go with the proper therapyல போகும்போது with the proper physiotherapist applicationல தான் presence-ல தான் this application has to be utilized. And other one, now this electromagnetic physical therapy is also implemented by passing of some electromagnetic signals, the relieving of pain, okay, can be understood. So even this is also helpful to speed up your healing process in case of any bone fracture or something. This is still, but in the market, varala. The other important therapeutic device I've shown here is a dialyzer. So when the dialyzer is needed, when the kidney is not functioning well enough, so body la vandu blood urea, nitrogen and creatinine content ஜாஸ்தியா இருக்கு. So you want to remove that. The kidney is completely washed out. You want to go for an immediate transfusion வரும்போது the blood will be taken out, and where all these urea nitrogen component will be flushed by a dialysate solution, and the blood will be returned back to your body. So the blood will be purified or depending upon the patient's need. So that is the dialyzing machine. So if the device therapeutic major, the other one which we follow for treatment is the medication. So apart from these things, which can be made as a wearable, one example I've already given here as a pacemaker. The other wearable concept is where the wearable kidney, the artificial kidney, we'll see in the next coming slides. So இது ஒரு கான்செப்ட். இப்போ நெக்ஸ்ட் வேரியபிள் கான்செப்டுக்கு நமக்கு மேஜரா தேவை அப்படின்னா பாயிண்ட் ஆஃப் கேர் டெஸ்டிங் டிவைஸ்ன்னு சொல்லுவோம். It's what if you have a glucometer at your home, you have a biosensor pack. So you have to keep a small droplet of your blood, and what is the level of your glucose in your blood will be calculated, and that will be displayed in the display as a milligrams per deciliter. So இதெல்லாமே in vitro test ன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க, where the sample is taken and it has been placed. So this point of care device we can make it as a wearable. That is one example which I've told is a continuous monitoring, glucose monitoring unit comes as a patch. I'll show you how the patch looks like. Other than the blood glucometer, நீங்க வேற என்னெல்லாம் point of care testing device use பண்ணி other wearable concept convert பண்ணலாம்ன்ற ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிளுக்காக I have given here. So இப்ப இதுல என்ன பண்றாங்க அப்படின்னா disposable microchip அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க, where your samples of tears or saliva sample or even the sweat sample or urine sample that can be placed, and important chemical analysis, the level of ketones present in your urine அது கண்டுபிடிச்சிடலாம். உங்க ஸ்வெட்ல இருந்து you can find out any kidney problem இருக்கா, இல்ல presence of ammonia வச்சு kidney problem, renal dysfunction இருக்கான்னு கண்டுபிடிக்கலாம். At the same time, other parameters also, sweatல இருந்து you can also find out glucometer when you are not happy enough to prick your hand to place your blood component. Even from the saliva, your pH level of your body can be analyzed. At the same time, any kind of a pathogen detection can also be done using your saliva. And conjunctive disease, eye disease வந்து உங்க tear patternல இருந்து நீங்க கண்டுபிடிக்கலாம். So all you have to need is a proper gadget where you need a disposable microchip or disposable electrochemical sensor should be present, and the sample, and you need an electronic conversion. Whatever the sample you're placing will be converted electronically, and you can check the levels. So I have shown here a commercial benchtop device இதுல வந்து என்ன பண்ணும் அப்படின்னா உங்க சாம்பிளை வந்து பிளேஸ் பண்ணும்போது ஒரு சென்ட்ரிஃபியூகல் இது வந்து என்னன்னா பிளட் சாம்பிள்ல இருந்து உங்க பிளட் கவுண்ட் வந்து கண்டுபிடிச்சு சொல்லும். யூ ஹாவ் அ கார்ட்ரிட்ஜ் பேஸ்ட் டிவைஸ் தட் இஸ் தேர். இதெல்லாம் நீங்க யூ கேன் மேக் இட் அஸ் அ ஸ்மால் மைக்ரோ யூனிட் அண்ட் வியரபிளா இல்லைன்னா கூட ஹேண்ட் டிவைஸா யூ கேன் யூஸ் இட். யூ கேன் ஆல்சோ இம்ப்ளிமெண்ட் இட் அஸ் அ வியரபிள் ஆல்சோ. And these are called as micropads. This also gives you the blood glucose, the glucometer. So hydroxyglutarate detection will be done from the blood samples. And you have this microfluid multiplex device. The sample can be your saliva or the sample can be your sweat or tears. So where any microbial pathogen detection can be done. So அதுல இருந்து என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க அப்படின்னா அந்த டிடெக்ஷனுக்கு சூட்டபிள் ஆன்டிபாடிஸை கூட நீங்க ஃபைண்ட் அவுட் பண்ணிக்கலாம். That is a concept here. Okay. And this is a drug abuse detection, which is quite common, breath analyzer. Okay. And இதுல வந்து breath sample is more sufficient. You need not go for any kind of saliva samples and all. And here I have given a mucous membrane. இப்ப நீங்க கோவிட் இருக்கா இல்லையா அப்படின்றது வந்து மியூக்கஸ் மெம்பரேன் லேயர் ஸ்வாப் டெக்னிக் தானே யூஸ் பண்ணாங்க. So that can be studied using this particular device. And to my knowledge, if you have a well-facility, manufacturing facility, all these point of care testing device can be converted into a wearable concept. Okay. So now another wearable concept, diagnostic and therapeutic ponalo, the major criteria that has to be implemented in the mobile application is what? The remote monitoring. So somebody should tell, after seeing the report, you know the normal value and abnormal value, but you are not the decision maker. You don't know what treatment has to be followed for that particular changes in the value ranges. So you need a doctor or a physician to support your result. So for that, the remote monitoring concept should be present. So நீங்க அவங்க இன்ஃபர்மேஷனை ஹாஸ்பிட்டலுக்கு அனுப்பினா கூட ஹாஸ்பிட்டல்ல இருந்து இன்னொரு டாக்டருக்கு போகணும் அப்படின்னா இந்த ஃபுல் செட்டப் ஹாஸ் டு பி பிரசன்ட் இன் த ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் செக்டர். ஸோ யூ நீட் அ வீடியோ கான்ஃபரன்சிங் டெக்னிக் and all the departments has to be connected to a common mode, and that hospital should have a proper satellite transformation for another specialty unit where a doctor or can discuss along with the patients and give a proper treatment procedure for the diagnostic applications, which has been done through the wearable technology. And I've also shown the complete telemedicine application model here, which you well aware of when you're going for a video conferencing, which is right currently happening now. What I'm doing, you're listening from some remote place and try to understanding the concept. Sir, anything? Shall I continue? Okay, I have to. So, if next wearable concept, what treatment, therapeutically, நீங்க வேற என்ன பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்னா, I have shown a different rehabilitation devices here. So, all the things can be made as a wearable too. What we have done, what I've shown as an example, as a gaming model for rehabilitation. ஒரு பேஷன்ஸ் இப்ப நான் சொன்னது கேமிங் பேட்டர்ன் வந்து ஒரு பெயின் ரிலீஃப்க்கோ அதுக்கு ஒரு எக்ஸசைஸ் மாடல் பேட்டர்ன் வி ஹவ் கிரியேட்டட் அண்ட் ஃபார் ஹேண்ட் மூவ்மெண்ட்ஸ் ஒரு பேட்டர்ன் கிரியேட்டட். பட் தீஸ் பீப்புள் யூ ஆர் சீயிங் ஹியர் தே ஆர் கம்ப்ளீட்லி பெரலைஸ்ட். ஸோ அவங்களுக்கு ஒரு மூவ்மெண்ட்டை நீங்க கொண்டு வரணும் அப்படின்னா யூ கேன் கிரியேட் லாட்ஸ் ஆஃப் வியரபிள் கேஜெட்ஸ் ஃபார் தெம் இன் ஆர்டர் டு பிரிங் பேக் த மூவ்மெண்ட்ஸ். ஸோ இங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஸ்டார்ட் ஃப்ரம் திஸ் ஒன். அவங்களுக்கு வந்து என்ன பண்ணாங்க, இந்த ஃபிளெக்சின் எக்ஸ்டென்ஷன் சொல்லுவாங்க இல்லையா, மூவ்மெண்ட் ஆஃப் யுவர் எல்போ, அப் அண்ட் டவுன் எல்போ, ஃபிளெக்சின் அண்ட் எக்ஸ்டென்ஷன், அந்த மோட் அவங்களுக்கு எக்ஸசைஸ் பேட்டர்னுக்காக they have designed this device. So this device comes along with the EMG electrode. So when they are performing the extension and flexion, what is the muscles contraction happening, that can be analyzed. So when they perform the exercise for a long duration of time, whether the muscle is completely coming back to the normal active or abindratha, you can check using this device. Whereas in the second one, B1, where in the movement elbow da, but in the movement irukolya, the hinge movement solvala, the door opening and closing, and for that movement the gadget is developed for that person. So the person is drawing a line using the scale. So ஒரு சர்க்கிள் வரையலாம் இல்லைன்னா ஒரு செமி சர்க்கிள் மூவ்மெண்ட்டுக்காக அவங்க டிஸ்பிளேல what is the movement they are doing. அதுக்காக this hand rehabilitation க்கு கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. The other one is for the wrist movement for the complete 360 rotation க்கு we can create a gadget for them. And in the D section, I have shown the same device now where the flexion up and down movement of the elbow. For that, they have developed a wearable system. And E represents some finger grip. Hand movement பண்ண ட்ரை பண்றாங்க அப்படின்னா நீங்க என்ன பண்ணலாம், you can fix the accelerometer. And sir, any doubt is there? Or you can fix an accelerometer and the movement அவங்க கொடுக்கறதை you can keep on measure. Okay, so that you can do using this particular wearable rehabilitation device. And similarly, the that is also for typing. And ஒரு fingerல எவ்வளவு pressure கொடுக்குறாங்க. And if you know the typewriter and the movement பரவாயில்ல, horizontal movement, hinge movement, the same device has been made as a wearable concept. So similarly, I have given many rehabilitation wearable unit for upper extremities I have shown here. For lower extremities, அப்படின்னு வரும்போது we have certain some exoskeleton model that can be developed for them. அதுவும் wearable systemல தான் I can show it as an example. We can see here activity of daily living training, ADL அப்படின்னா activity of daily living training. So you can see a glove has been designed specifically for them. So what is the pressure they are giving? What is the pressure they require to hold, or complete movement of your fingers? Everything can be analyzed using the wearable glove. It has been present there. And for walking, you have a special gait lab. So it's where a force platform will be available, and you can, what is the pressure they are giving to their gait, that can be developed, and exoskeletal model can be developed in order to train them to make the walking pattern correctly. So இதெல்லாம் வந்து wearable concept coming under the rehabilitation device. So we have seen many gadgets available. இதை wearable எப்படி நம்ம கொண்டு போலாம்ன்றது ஒரு example only I have shown here. So one thing, the Polar Seal அப்படின்ற கம்பெனி வந்து இந்த மாதிரி 7 kits வந்து மார்க்கெட்ல வந்து அவைலபிள் பண்ணிருக்காங்க. So the first is called as a urine test kit. So you can check if you're not willing to test your diabetes level from the blood sample, you can check your ketones and presence of glucose in the urine sample from this urine kit. At the same time, it will also tell the protein level. உங்க urine எவ்வளவு protein இருக்கு. When the protein level is high in the urine, it is an indication of your renal disorder. So அப்போ இந்த urine key test வந்து உங்க renal function as well as your blood glucose ரொம்ப யூஸ் ஆகும். Diabetes mellitus use on. The second wearable diagnostic device introduced by this company is a diagnostic finger prick test device. This is a point of care device where you can carry everywhere wherever you go. So in the kit, you can check you have to keep your blood sample in the biosensor. So you can check your diabetic level, your blood glucose level, cholesterol level, and your HP count, the hemoglobin level in your blood. So any of this parameter is having some disorder, the kit will be telling you the information that immediate care has to be given. So you can meet your physician to the time limit. And ischemia அப்படின்றது வந்து demand of oxygen வந்து ஜாஸ்தி ஆகும். அதாவது this is where the oxygen supply is not well enough. அதாவது for example, the ischemia வந்து aneurysm concept சொல்லுவாங்க. உங்க blood vessel வந்து ரொம்ப shrink ஆயிடுச்சு. Narrowing down of your blood vessel will not allow the blood to supplementally pass on to the vital organs. So this particular gadget, with the help of your ECG, you can pick up from many places. So அப்பா என்ன சொல்லுது அப்படின்னா எந்த இடத்துல blood flow வந்து கம்மியா இருக்கு அப்படின்றத வந்து it is trying to measure you and tell that there is a problem in your blood vessels. So that kit they have developed. Then temperature monitoring patches are there. The patches will continuously transfer the temperature to the mobile platform. And you have a personalized ECG device as a patch you can place it, but it has to be wirelessly communicated to the mobile or the tab. And neuro monitoring device where you can wear a EEG sensor as a cap. Or headband madri, you can wear it. So the EEG signal of that particular patient or the subject will be monitored. And sudden epilepsy, seizures, sudden involuntary movement of your muscles will happen. So on the scenario, neuro monitoring device which you can monitor. But I don't know whether it will correctly pinpoint the person is going to get a seizure. அதை சொல்ல முடியுமா அப்படின்றது தெரியல. But any discomfort in your EEG waveform that will be immediately intimated to the patient as well as the doctor. And all these concepts, இப்போ நீங்க அந்த யூரின் கிட்ட இருந்தாலும் சரி இல்ல fingerprint testக்குமே வந்து the biosensors are very important. So they are giving the biosensors where you can create another technology of your own. That is also the Polar Seal is doing. So these are some of the gadgets they have developed, which I have told in the previous slide. So இது எல்லாமே diagnostic wearable conceptக்கு உங்களுக்கு வந்துரும். The other one which I was so peculiar is what the discrete. This is the name they have given for the system that is Molex Advent. அவங்க வந்து இந்த யூனிட் மார்க்கெட்ல அவைலபிள் இருக்கு. நம்ம actually in Indian market is also one wearable glucose monitoring system is there. But out of which they got a higher scoring of using this continuous glucose monitoring. You have a patch sensor. This is a sensor package. The sensor will completely check your. இதுல ரெண்டு கான்செப்ட் இருக்கு. பிளட்ல இருந்தும் அவங்க செக் பண்றாங்க, ஸ்வெட்ல இருந்தும் அவங்க செக் பண்றாங்க. ஸ்மால் நீடல், இஃப் யூ சி the small needle will be pricked. இது நான் இங்க எக்ஸாம்பிள் வந்து உங்களுக்கு பிளட் சாம்பிள் தான் காமிச்சிருக்கேன். A needle will be injected inside the body. So the peripheral இருக்கிற blood samples வந்து will be continuously monitored accordingly. Okay, and whenever you eat food, sudden changes in the glucose pattern can be monitored using. So this is another diagnostic wearable tool to monitor your blood glucose. So இப்போ diagnostic market current scenarioல மார்க்கெட்ல இவ்வளவுதான் அவைலபிள். வேற ப்ரொசீஜர்ஸ் அப்படின்னு போனீங்கன்னா major procedures போனீங்கன்னா இல்ல, because we are not allowed to use any kind of scanners in our home. We should get a proper permission from the government or the hospitalல doctor prescribe பண்ணாதான் நீங்க அதை யூஸ் பண்ணலாம். Other than the other gadgets, even if the doctor you can go for this apnea detector, you can use this diagnostic wearable glucose monitoring system is you can use, or other point of care unit wearable system நீங்க யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கிறதுக்கு we have permission. So coming to wearable therapeutic devices, as I told before, ட்ரீட்மெண்ட்னாலே நம்ம நினைக்கிறது வந்து பெயின் ரிலீஃப் மட்டும்தான். பட் அப்பார்ட் ஃப்ரம் தட் நீங்க என்னெல்லாம் பண்ணலாம்ன்றது ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிள் தான் கொடுத்துருக்கேன். ஸோ வியரபிள் தெரப்பியில the first நான் சொன்னாலே எலக்ட்ரிக்கல் ஸ்டிமுலேஷன் கான்செப்ட் that is made available. But with proper doctor's support illama, you should not use this therapy at home to relief of muscles pain. Adukku neenga normal heat treatment and cold treatment is more sufficient to overcome the pain. But if this doctor suggests you to use this electrical stimulation concept for relief of some spasm or atrophy, sudden reduction in the size of the muscle, and the type the special spinal cord injury patients who have enormous pain. For those individuals, this wearable electrical stimulation concept is quite helpful. அதுக்கப்புறம் மார்க்கெட்ல என்ன இருக்குன்றதை மட்டும் தான் நான் ப்ரொஜெக்ட் பண்ணிருக்கேன். There is another thing called as My Skin Track UV. As I told in the wearable shirt, for swimmers, I told you, people those are doing field event, track event, and water event. அவங்களுக்கு how much of UV rays they are getting exposed ன்றதுக்கு ஒரு dress இருக்கு. But இது வந்து ஒரு small tracking device that you can pin in your shirt or you can put it in your bag. Okay, so that will tell you the level of UV that has been present. At the same time, it also has a different sensors. So உங்களை சுத்தி என்ன type of a pollutant இருக்கு, hazardous gas இல்ல harmful gas இருக்கா அப்படின்றது the device will monitor and give you an alarm. But அது என்ன type of gas ன்றதை சொல்லுமான்றது it is not given in their details. The other one is the very ரொம்ப rare. Now it is marketized. I don't know whether it is commercially available on தெரியல. Digital RP Parasol. இது என்ன அப்படின்னா it's a kind of a pill. This is actually a very good thing. Then once the pill has to be swallowed, and once the pill, the normal tubular capsules you take, the similar concept you have given, and the pill or type of material use பண்றாங்க, where the material will tell the level of medicine the patient have taken or not. Okay, so the injection and the material understand ஒரு biosensor, the reaction நடக்கும்போது it will have a small Wi-Fi that will transfer the information to the patching that has been done, so that the medicine is properly absorbed in the body அப்படின்றத நீங்க procedure you can visualize. Okay, I'll so show you how it looks like. This is an example for digital pill. Okay, so you can see here the patient should swallow the pill. That is or an ingestible sensor. It is normally digestible. It can be excreted also. So that pill once reaches the stomach, where bile juice the pill it will be activated. So once it reaches and in the particular medication observe check பண்றாங்களோ and the medication follow ஆகும்போது it will react and it will send a signal accordingly to the sensor which is patched on your arm. So this through via Bluetooth or any other Wi-Fi, this will be enabled to your mobile phone, or if you give a prior permission, the doctor from remote place can also see the medical. It's actually an excellent invention, right? A person those who are taking, those who are having blood pressure, those who are having diabetes or sugar or complication, renal dysfunction, they have to take plenty of tablets, or 4 to 5 tablets they have to swallow at a time. There is one problem called as adverse effect, drug adverse effect. What is the problem was, if one antibiotic, a tablet proper virulence it will go and stop, subsidize பண்ணி விட்டுரும். So the antibiotic activities will subsidize activity of the blood pressure tablet abdina, the BP will not be normalized for the particular person. So again the person will go to adverse state. So the tablet you're taking is properly mapped to your body for the need. This digital pill will identify and tell you. And it is most probably treated for people those who are having schizophrenia. The schizophrenia sudden decision making confusion sudden confusion happens where they are. So or sudden change varumbodhu, their hormonal imbalance can be identified by this particular pill. And bipolar disorder sudden variations varumbodhu, this pill will immediately tell what the problem is. But immediately the patient has to take that. And people sudden anxiety mode or depression, this pill is quite helpful. So this is commercialized, I suppose. Next one is what this My Skin Track UV sensor. You can see a small gadget. Okay, so there is a putty dollar use you can connect it to your bag, used as a pin. This is UV rays body exposed. Either it will send an information to your mobile phone, or it will send an information to your smartwatch if you're having. But that has to be the software has to be downloaded. The application has to be present in your gadgets in order to see the complete UV response that you have to get observed to. So this is another treatment. This is an example. Therapeutic wearable device you can give. This LARO chip the instrument introduced பண்ணிருக்காங்க. The other one is given by the L'Oreal. This one recently won a best wearable beauty award. So what it will do, it is nothing but a small wearable patch you can see. It is reusable actually. இது என்ன பண்ணும், பாடியில இருக்கிற pH level, particularly உங்க sweatல இருக்க pH level intimate பண்ணி, from that whether you will be prone to any kind of a pathogen அப்படின்றதை they detect பண்ணி சொல்லுது. So whenever the pH level is changing in your skin pattern, that shows the aging process. That is the major source of the aging process. So immediately it will intimate you so that you can go and consume some sort of fluids accordingly in order to bring back the pH level of your sweat. So this one is another wearable tracking unit for treatment procedure that you're using to find out the pH level. The same concept. The color change and the dots or the color change if the pH level is too high in our sweat. Depending upon that, you can take some immediate action. The other one is quite famous. I think many of you have seen for the elderly people putting these kinds of pens in their body. It's nothing but the insulin pen. இது ஒரு wearable ஒரு example சொல்லல, therapeutic ஒரு example இதை நான் introduce பண்ணிருக்கேன். Because you can carry wherever you want to go. So it is insulin injection where the blood glucose level is too high. So immediately bring back your blood glucose level to reduce. You can inject this in your thigh. So but the level of insulin that has to be injected should be given by your based on your doctor's advice. So next, the therapeutic, which I was discussing before, is a wearable artificial kidney. So hemodialyzer கேள்விப்பட்டிருப்பீங்க. Hemodialyzer ஓட job என்ன அப்படின்னா, you have a dialyzer where the blood from your AV fistula, அதாவது உங்க artery and vein map perforate பண்ணி link பண்ணிருப்பாங்க. The blood will be taken out and it will be sent to the dialyzer. Dialyzerல dialysate அப்படின்ற ஒரு solution இருக்கும், which is nothing but a rich of carbonates, the bicarbonates, and as well as some sodium, potassium, what is the natural component that is needed for the chemical needed for the blood level. So that will be flushed inside the blood. So the blood due to osmosis as well as diffusion process, the weighted component like urea and creatinine வந்து subsidize ஆயிடும், so that the blood will be reduced with the urea and creatinine level. So the wearable artificial kidney actually looks like this. So it can be wear as a jacket and you can directly insert it to your AV fistula if you're wearing, and you can lead your normal life. So for every 3 hours, you have to either you can remove it, you can stop it, or continuously you can allow this dialyzer to pass into your fluid concept in order to reduce your blood urea nitrogen level. The other concept I was an artificial arm. We have a bionic arm. The bionic arm or a concept is wearable marida, but that is the sensors has to be implanted inside the body. Nerve, suppose your right arm is amputated, where your left arm is functioning well enough. What you can do, you can redirect the nerve, radial nerve, ulnar nerve, and medial nerve. And the nerve redirect பண்ணி அந்த nerve ஓட impulse எடுத்து you can activate your right arm. So அதுவும் ஒரு wearable conceptல ஒரு implantation. I thought of adding an example, but it's not come here. So when all these wearable technology to be implemented in as a gadget, the one important thing that is present should be the Internet of Medical Things. IoT concept illama none of this wearable concept seems to be working enough. But if any gadget that connected to internet, you call it as an Internet of Things. If the medical gadget is connected to the internet, you call it as a Internet of Medical Things. So all the gadgets coming connected to your internet, and you have a mobile application or a laptop application to connect the sensors, and where the data can be saved in a remote place as a cloud, from where the doctor or any kind of caretaker or physician can see and assist you. That comes under the Internet of Medical Thing concept. Okay. So I think moreover, I've covered all the wearable concept that is available in the market that is in use now. If you have any doubts, you can ask. So one project that we are working on, I have given here for speech disorder patient, which I forgot to add there, I've added here. So if people, those who have some articulation problem and stammering, thikkuvai, like vaai vandu kolari pesranga. So this is most common problem with the autism child. So for those children, what we did, we tried to improve their speech patterns. So we visited a rehabilitation center and we collected a data from some 12 children. அவங்க கிட்ட கேட்டு ஒரு கேமிங் பிளாட்ஃபார்ம் மாதிரி அவங்க ஸ்பீச் தெரப்பிக்கு we imparted. And this is a video, I'll show you. The word fan. So the child is telling, instead of fan, the child pronounced fan. But we have given 3 chances in order to make the word to be pronounced at the right time. So if the child is, so நாங்க என்ன பண்ணோம், the phonics வந்து we recognize the phonics and we understood that which particular phonics is missing. Based on that, 10. So if the child is pronounced correctly, depending upon that, the emoji will be popping up for the child, and depending upon the words phonics we have calculated, we display the scores there. But நாங்க first ஆரம்பிக்கும் போது we started with English, but the rehabilitationist என்ன சொன்னாங்கன்னா, they wanted with Tamil words. So எங்களுக்கு ஒரு 100 Tamil words கொடுத்தாங்க. அதுக்கு ஒரு gaming platform மாதிரி develop. So if the child have told any half word correctly, some emojis will be pop up for the child appreciation. So the child partially filled, these kinds of emojis will be displayed. So why have introduced here as a therapy மாதிரி தான், speech therapyன்றதுக்காக I had included this one of my project here. But still we are developing many things, and provided we got only 12 children to work with, we are just we're visiting other rehabilitation centers for the help, and we are improvising our algorithm in identifying the data. So I'll just end up here. If you have any doubts, you just ask.
Participants, if you have any doubts, kindly ask ma'am or put it in the chat box.
Hello, good evening, ma'am. I have a doubt.
Yes.
Ma'am, is dual twin method possible for a medical imaging process, ma'am? And
Which
what are
one,
the
ma'am?
steps can...
Ma'am, actually, நாங்க hem healthல ஒரு project we have done where we have radiological equipment imaging இருக்கு இல்லையா, imaging we try to download and we process everything in the mobile application, and from that we diagnosed. Even this mob scope லாம் சொன்னேன் இல்லையா, blood count எல்லாமே நாங்க mobile app கொண்டு வந்துட்டோம். But the thing is, அந்த wearable நீங்க வந்து ஒரு டேட்டால இருந்து அதை டவுன்லோட் பண்ணோம் இல்லையா, அந்த டவுன்லோட் டைமிங்கே உங்களுக்கு மொபைல்ல ரொம்ப ஜாஸ்தி. If you have a very good internet facilities, okay, that can be done.
Okay,
But
okay,
as a
ma'am.
wearable கொண்டு போறது அப்படின்றது கஷ்டம். But if you have a enough data, I have a MRI image, so அந்த அல்காரிதம்க்கு நீங்க ஒரு அப்ளிகேஷன் போன்ல போட்டுக்கலாம்.
Okay, okay, ma'am.
That we also have.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes.
Very nice presentation, ma'am. Thank you for your information. Actually, I have one clarification, ma'am. So, regarding the wearable devices or any implant devices, you are getting the data actually through internet or whatever else. After collecting the data, what type of algorithm or protocol will be very easy to further enhancement, ma'am?
Ma'am, இப்ப நீங்க mobile platform focus பண்றீங்கன்னா, there are many Android apps which is available. But to process the ECG signal, நீங்க என்ன பண்ணணும், அது ஒரு பெரிய ப்ராசஸ் மேடம். நீங்க ஏதாவது ஒரு பைத்தானோ இல்ல you can use MATLAB or whatever tool, அந்த பைத்தான் ப்ரோக்ராமிங்ல ஃபர்ஸ்ட் நீங்க ஃபீச்சர் எக்ஸ்ட்ராக்ஷன் வரைக்கும் பண்ணிடணும். பண்ணிட்டு டெசிஷன் கிளாசிபிகேஷன் வரைக்கும் பண்ணிட்டு mobile applicationல some mobile apps will be mapped with this Python as well as some MATLAB. that application the coding algorithm feed பண்ணணும். அப்படி இல்லைன்னா you can convert your algorithm in a C mode, C languageல convert பண்ணிட்டு ஆண்ட்ராய்டு ஆப்ல நீங்க அதை ஃபீட் பண்ணிட்டீங்கனாலே you can beautifully develop a application for any sensors. பட் அந்த டூல் யாருமே சொல்ல மாட்டாங்க என்ன டைப் ஆஃப், பட் நீங்க தேடி கண்டுபிடிச்சு you have to perform the unit. There are Android apps available that is feasible for your mobile, what mobile you are using. அதுக்கு உங்கள் மொபைலுக்கு ஏற்ற மாதிரி Android apps இருக்கும். But that app should be fed with the algorithm that you are developing. இல்லைன்னா நீங்க ஆப்லயே போயிட்டு அந்த algorithm எழுதவும் நீங்க கத்துக்கலாம். That is also there.
Okay, ma'am. Even for small temperature variation in a patient body, even we are collecting the data, ma'am. So
Yes.
the type of
actually I will tell some. I'm not listed here. Mobile applications நான் சொல்லல. Mobile applications க்கு ECG க்கு Android app இருக்கு where you can convert and you can see. And the temperature, continuous monitoring of temperature, அதுக்கும் mobile app இருக்கு ma'am. Android app is available that you can
okay,
develop and you can use. But on the front end,
other than mobile app, ma'am.
மேம் வேற ஒன்றும் இல்லை மேம், நீங்க மொபைல் ஆப் அது மட்டும் தான், நீங்க ஆண்ட்ராய்டு ஆப்ஸ் தான் நீங்க பண்ண முடியும். அதர் ஆப்னா நீங்க தான் கோடிங் எழுதணும். ஓப்பன் சோர்ஸ் கோடிங்ஸ் ஆர் அவைலபிள் இருக்கு இல்லையா, அதுல மெனி ஆஃப் த கேஜெட்ஸ் வில் சப்போர்ட் பைத்தான். பட் நீங்க யூஸ் பண்ற யூனிட் வியரபிளா கொண்டு போறீங்கன்னா மைக்ரோ கண்ட்ரோலருக்கு பதிலா யூ ஷுட் யூஸ் த ப்ராசஸர் லைக் பை, ராஸ்பெரி பை மாதிரி நீங்க யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம். இந்த ஃபுல் மோடம் யூ கேன் பிரிங் இட் இன்சைட் சாஃப்ட்வேர் ஃபுல்லாவே நீங்க அந்த ராஸ்பெரி பைல போட்டு தென் யூ கேன் இன்டர்ஃபேஸ் ஆல் யுவர் சென்சார்ஸ் தேர் அண்ட் யூ கேன் ஒர்க் ஆன் இட்.
Okay.
We tried the speech processing ராஸ்பெரி பைல டைரக்டா நாங்க பைத்தான்ல தான் ட்ரை பண்ணுவோம். ஆக்சுவலா இட் வாஸ் ஒர்க்கிங். யூ கேன் ட்ரை தட்.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. But that speech therapy that which you have shown in your PPT last slide, ma'am, I told that about your tried about 12 children, your trying for the moderate related 12 children, right? Basically, ma'am, that speech, that phonetics itself, the every children they supposed to give so many variation for each and every letter, ma'am. So that time, how the device will indicate either is she pronounce yes or H or like that, ma'am.
Algorithm கேக்குறீங்க, how I can tell. So there is now the truth table we developed, madam, because of the sound that is produced from the mouth, we call it as a phonics. Sound, E sound. அந்த ஒரு phonics-ஐயும் நாங்க என்ன பண்ணோம் அப்படின்னா we converted into as a சிக்னலா பிளாட் பண்ணிட்டு அந்த phonics உடைய frequency pattern கண்டுபிடிச்சு that frequency pattern is constant for this sound ன்றத we fixed it, threshold fix பண்ணிட்டு, so every child will meet that frequency pattern அப்படின்னா அந்த sound, அந்த word அங்க டிஸ்பிளே ஆகுற மாதிரி we tried out. So it's working actually, but still இன்னும் பேஷன்ஸ் வேணும்ன்றதுக்காக we are kept it as a idea, paper publish பண்ணல.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for your information, ma'am. Thank you so much.
So, shall we wind up now? If at all there is no questions.
Participants, if you don't have any questions, we can wind up the session. Any doubts is there? Okay, thank you very much, ma'am, for your wonderful session.
Thank you.
Delivered a wonderful session and given valuable details about various technologies, devices, and applications and all. I think the session will be very much useful for all the researchers and faculty members also. And thank you once again for this wonderful session. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. I'll take a leave.
Yeah, thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Dear participants, the admin's link will be shared right now. Kindly fill both links, session 1 and session 2. And come back tomorrow in the same link. Thank you and good night.